Okay, we have to bring this up onto YouTube, YouTube, and then we're going to record the session here. It's just loading up right now. We have to do this after, I gotta tell you, we have to do this after the we start because YouTube won't take the music that we have. So we have to stop this after the music. And I think we're to
Okay, we're all good.
YouTube. We're all good.
YouTube
All right,
and
we are recording right now. Now we just have to hit the record button and we're all set to go. Right. Here we go. All right, good evening again, everybody. Welcome to DayTradeSPY.com's Intro to Trading Week in Review, and it is January the 5th, 2025. This is our first session of the year 2025. Good to have you all here. My name is Hugh. We're going solo from here on out. And folks, there's a questions box. You'll find a little icon on your Zoom dashboard. Click on that. I am the only one that sees that, so go ahead and say whatever you want. And love to chat it up with you, okay? And answer your questions, hopefully. We'll get to all your questions. Is my hair a little, you know what? I don't have that much left. Okay. I'll tell you why. It's because I have a daughter. And she decided to go teach English as a second language in Thailand. And back in those days, yes, I used to have lots of brown hair. And that's when my hair went brown, and went white. And then when she came back, she, and now she wants to go spend a year in Peru and teach English as a second language in Peru. That's when I lost most of my hair. That's what happens. And then she came back and went back to Colombia for vacation and thoroughly enjoyed it. She did a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool stuff. The irony is she's not really a traveler, believe it or not. We used to joke with her all the time. We'd say, "Oh, you're going from Buffalo to Rochester, New York, which is an hour down the street. Oh, who's your travel agent?" We used to kid her. Anyway, folks, questions box, and welcome everybody. All right, yeah. I like this from John here. You should consider a lady psychic. That would be good. Maybe we will. That's okay. Might want to do that. All right. While we are just been getting started here, just going to give you a couple seconds to read this disclaimer. Keeps us out of jail and hopefully on track. You alone are responsible for your own trading, and past performance does not guarantee future results. All right, all right, all right. Meet your host, yours truly. My name is Hugh. Real brief, just a brief history here, bio. Most of the stuff I teach folks, I learned from the trenches, deep in the trenches, okay? Um, Corporate America, handed off a lot of my money to my financial guru, blew out half the account. I took over the control and learned how to do this myself. Learned a lot of stuff, but most of what I teach is the stuff I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. That's really where you learn it all, right? Anyway, discovered some cool strategies that worked very well for me. I started bringing home the toys, and other people noticed, and they coerced me into putting it all online so they can see what I'm doing. They want to learn, and hence we started the inner circle, the trading room, ebooks, webinars, all kinds of cool stuff. And then a couple of years ago, actually it's 2022, Eagle Financial Products bought us out and continued to work for them. They bought us out and they were under contract to still stay providing good content on their behalf, including the trading room. And that's what we do. So, real deal, folks. I teach, all right. I teach what I trade. I trade what I teach. Nothing more, nothing less. And we've been making a lot of people a lot of money. I should say, maybe we've been teaching a lot of people how to make themselves a lot of money. That's really what it's all about. All right. For you to learn how to make money. But we've got some pretty cool services for you, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. Anyway, my sort of strategy is those short-term breakout trades for small, multiple daily gains. I'm going to show you in a little bit exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about looking at last week's review. Oh, wait a second, we're ahead of the game here. Oh my gosh. How come this thing doesn't really want to work out? There we no, that's not at all. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have to go back. Meet your host. I don't know why this thing just doesn't really want to work. Okay. To be discussed. I think if I click it, No, it doesn't want to do it. Isn't that interesting? It all worked in, okay, maybe if I do it this way. Isn't that the strangest thing? I don't know why it doesn't want to do this. Let me just go in here and current slide. Current slide. Or maybe this will pop it up. Is it going to come up? Let's take a look here. Is it coming up? Doesn't want to come up. Okay. We are going to look at, all right, I'm going to tell you what we're going to look at. We are going to look at last week's review, the upcoming week, and give you a 2-minute tutorial, how we can help you, and then we're going to answer your questions. That's what we're going to do. Not sure why this particular slide does not want to come up, but that's okay. All right, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about to be discussed. Oh, now it's gonna come up now? No. It's just jumping right through. Okay, not a problem. Spy on the market. This is a newsletter that goes out every Thursday. I write this newsletter, it's just a very brief 3-minute read. And it doesn't want to come up. There it is. There it is. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Light, relevant, entertaining. Subscribe to Spy on the Market, the newsletter. All you have to do is go to DayTradeSPY.com. Just coincidentally happens to be our website. And then when the pop-up comes up, just leave us your email address, and then you're going to get the Spy on the Market newsletter delivered right to your inbox every Thursday. Okay. This week's topic is fighting FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's that was always been one of my big emotional hurdles to cross, fighting FOMO. I always felt that, you know what, there's a party going on and I'm not part of it. I'm on the outside looking in. You know, there's a house party, everybody's been invited, but you're not. And you go up to the window and they're all having fun and right, and you're on the outside looking in and I gotta get in on that. The stock market is open. I should be in a trade. I should be in a trade. Um, excuse me, and that's called FOMO. You're afraid that you're missing something. So you have to trade. You always have to be in a trade. Why? Because the market is open. I can tell you right now, that is the wrong reason to be in a trade. Yes, the market is open. Yes, there are people making money, but you don't always have to be there. And anyway, we're going to get into that in the newsletter. So sign up for that. I think you're going to find it very interesting. Every week there's a different topic of interest. Okay. Fighting FOMO, fear of missing out. All right, so let's take a look at last week, what happened. This is the chart of last week. It's an hourly chart. All right. And taking a look at Monday, we had some technical considerations. The market found some pretty strong resistance on multiple indicators that precluded the 10-point pre-market drop. Then the Chicago PMI report came out and we got some support, ran back up. Pending home sales also pushed it back up. Some profit taking there before SPY closed near 595. By the way, for anybody who's new on, we only trade SPY, SPY, that is the stock that follows the S&P 500. Wherever SPY goes, that's where we go. All right, S&P 500, which really cuts down on your analysis time. You don't have to look at. So I guess I should tell you, when I first started, of course, I was looking at different companies and as part of other trading, groups, trading rooms, different things. And I remember being in a in a trading room. There was a whole bunch of us, and it was unbelievable. I mean, we were on every Sunday night, all day, Friday, Monday through Friday, 9 till 4. Then 2 or 3 times during the week as well at night. Rather than the stock market being my slave, I found that I was the slave to this thing that we were doing. And we're always trying to analyze everything. And I remember we were assigned different companies and sectors and stuff. And well, you're in the financial sector and see what's happening this week. I could never contribute to that because frankly, I didn't even know what I was supposed to be looking at. And I don't think anybody else did either. People would banter about and different things, but I mean, how the heck would I possibly know where the banking sector is going to go, 4 or 5 days away from now? Like, I have no idea. Anybody could say or do anything. I mean, the Fed Reserve could make an announcement and things are going to all change. And, there's just no way. So, but you have to look at different companies, different sectors, different this, different that. Very, very consuming, time consuming. And with the S&P 500, you don't have to do that. I basically wake up around, 8 o'clock and check the markets, have my coffee, take a look and see what the news is, and I can pretty well judge where the market's going to go that day. Now, not that smart to know where it's going to go a year from now, or 6 months, or even a month from now, or even a week from now. But we're pretty good at assessing where the market is going to go later today. And that's all part of what we do in the inner circle. In the inner circle, we actually send out an email every morning at 9 o'clock and identifying where the stock market is going to go that day. See? But anyway, on Monday, we had some pretty strong technical indicators saying there's some very strong resistance, a little profit taking here as we're heading into the end of the year. Ended up, we did drop down and came back up on Tuesday. We had no high impact news. That was the day just before New Year's Eve. No high impact news led the day, ramped up a little bit here pre-market. Very underwhelming end of the year. All right, Santa Claus rally did not really present itself the way we thought it might. But you know what? Still, SPY achieved a 20% plus yearly performance for a second consecutive year. That's the first time this has happened since 1998. SPY ran up on Tuesday, right just before New Year's. Wednesday, of course, the markets were closed for New Year's. Thursday, we had some lower than forecast unemployment claims that picked up prices in pre-market. Higher than expected PMI shot it down with fears of inflation, especially with Trump's tariff threats, right? Tariff threats. So on Friday, we had some anti-inflationary news with PMI still under 50. 50 is that magic line in the sand. Anything over 50 on a PMI report indicates industry expansion. Below indicates contraction. That wrapped up the first week on a positive side, although still not up to those pre-Christmas levels of 600 plus. Wrapped it up just under 592. All right, taking a look at seasonal charts. This here is a seasonal chart. That little blue line up at the top. That's where SPY is now. That's where SPY came since the new year, which was Thursday, 2 days. 2 days in, and that red line at the bottom is the closing price of the daily charts composite of the last 5 years. All right, and you can see the trends with SPY as it goes along during the year. Let's focus in on SPY last week, relatively flat seasonally. SPY rose about 5 points the following week. Of course, no guarantees it's going to happen again, but it's kind of nice to see where the trend has been in the last 5 years. Last year, despite an underwhelming end to the year, it still proved to be a stellar year. Again, we set 57 record highs, achieving its second year uh, of over 20%, the first time since 1998. Mega caps, the techs, right? All the big names, they led the way. It turned out that all sectors and market caps enjoyed solid gains. Wage growth outpaced inflation, supporting consumption. Bull market continues into year three right now, but the pace may cool a little bit with growth due to earnings instead of further valuation expansion. So we're going to see what happens on that. This is a chart that looks at a comparison of wage growth vis-a-vis CPI inflation. Inflation, that's CPI. And you can see inflation is down here, down around 3%. Whereas the wage growth is over, and that gap there is the difference. And it looks like the wage looks like our wage growth has outpaced our headline inflation since mid 2 years ago, 2023. All right, Fed reserves slow the pace of interest rate cuts. They are settling in for a 3.5 to 4% range. Policymakers do see fewer cuts for next year, actually this year, with the economy continuing to perform well, but there is uncertainty around inflation. Currently, the rate for the Feds is 4.5%, looking for a target of 2.5%. Still room to bring down the rates. Inflation, of course, is likely to remain contained, but the Feds will proceed cautiously as the last mile may be bumpy. Their next Fed meeting, where they're going to announce the new Fed rates, is going to be on Wednesday, January the 29th, the last Wednesday of the month. So it could be a little bumpy from here until then. We'll see what happens. That last mile is generally the hardest. Okay. Here's the chart with interest rates and vis-a-vis inflation rates. And again, you can see how the Fed policy rate is still a little bit high, about 4.5%. Interest is down, or sorry, inflation is down about 3.5%. 3% here. There's still that gap. They're looking to possibly fill that gap in there, and we'll see what happens. The Fed policy rates are still above the rate of inflation, suggesting that they have room to ease further. So that's kind of interesting there. Here's what the S&P did. We're just down now this week here. Of course, we're down half point. Year to date, we're up 1 point. All right. I mean, we're only talking about 2 days here, so nothing to get too overly excited about. Nasdaq up 1.6%. The Dow's up 0.4%. Again, it's so early in the year, it doesn't really matter much, right? When you're just in 2 days into the year, it does not, 2 days does not a year make, right? Or however the saying goes. Okay. Anyway, it's going to be an interesting week here. We'll see what happens. Coming up on Monday, we've got the S&P Global Final Services PMI report, Purchasing Managers Index. That's what that is. On Tuesday, Institute for Supply Management Services PMI, also JOLTS job openings. On Wednesday, we've got the ADP non-farm employment change, unemployment claims, and FOMC meeting minutes from the last time that they had the meeting. And so it doesn't really move the markets. They just delve further into what their decisions were, how they made the decisions. Okay. So the decisions have already been made on the minutes, on the meetings, the Fed meetings. It's just that now they get into more detail about why they did what they did. Thursday, no real high impact news, but we do have several Fed Reserve members speaking. And on balance, these Fed members are a little on the hawkish side. Okay, a little on the hawkish side. On Friday, average hour earnings, non-farm employment change, and the unemployment rate to come out. All right, as far as volatility is concerned, we're looking at Monday and Tuesday being moderate. I figure it's going to be a little bit higher on Wednesday, then back down to Thursday for low. Finish off the week with a moderate volatility. That is the week ahead. All right. So you can probably make some pretty decent money here. We'll see about Thursday. We'll see if we can just edge out maybe 5-6% on Thursday. Maybe the rest of the days we can probably do several trades to bring in some cash. Right. That's kind of the objective here. Folks, there are many opportunities every day that we present, and we show you how to spot them and how to trade them. I like that, Snowman. I put that up there because we're in January right now. Interestingly enough, here in Western Europe, we don't have that much snow yet, and we're kind of knocking on wood. Hopefully, we're not going to get this massive snow that we usually get this time of year. I remember 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, right around Christmas. It was the worst. It was the we I think we had 47 deaths or something, and of course they had to bring in the military and emergency and just crazy stuff going on. So we like to stay safe. I am going to Florida, I believe, at the end of this week. Will not be affecting any of our webinars or anything else. Trading room, everything's going to be on track. The only difference is not this coming week, but the following week. I will, according to the plan anyway, it tends to change a lot, but according to the plan, I will be doing all my webinars and everything from Florida and sunny Florida. So hopefully the weather will cooperate there and just get a little sunshine. Got to get that vitamin D, you know. Is it vitamin D or vitamin C? One of those by being out in the sun, but not too much. You got to be careful. Um, and you got to be careful about getting, skin, right? Skin problems, right? Um, but that's a real dilemma because I love the sun, and yet my dermatologist told me to stay out of the sun. So what am I going to do? Anyway, that's that. So we've got many opportunities. Look, we show you how to spot them, how to make them, and not everybody can be in the trading room. I get it. All right, you're working or you're busy, you're taking the kids to school, you're doing whatever. But we also have other services that you may want to consider that have an outstanding success rate. And we do teach you, for example, in the trading room, how to better utilize these services. But even if you don't, even if you just subscribe to these services, we give you the picks as to what to trade at various times. One is the Day Trade Spy signal, DTS signal, Day Trade Spy signal. This is a service. So you're walking around with your cell phone, you're busy, you're doing what you're doing in the morning, and suddenly you get a text on your cell phone. Buy this option now. SPY, January the 10th, 490 call options. As soon as you get the text, you stop whatever you're doing, open up your app on your cell phone or go to your computer, and you simply make the purchase right then and there. Okay. Now, if you're looking at the 1 minute chart and the stock is going against you, then wait until it turns back in your direction and then buy it because you're going to get a little bit cheaper. Then immediately you put it up for sale for 5% profit target. By the way, all these instructions are in the program when you subscribe. So you put up for sale for a 5% profit target. And usually it fills very quickly. Now, if it hasn't filled by the end of the day, you simply put it up for sale for whatever the market will give you at the end of the day. Now, there is time built into these things, so your option is not going to go to zero. If it goes to zero, oh my gosh, something's really horrible happened, right? But that just doesn't happen. So and it's not very often when we lose on this thing. This thing has an exceptional success rate. And the idea here is to simply make 5% on each of these trades. Kind of a very simple way to make that 5% on a trade. Okay. Um, and you get these signals 3 to 5 times a week and in the mornings. They're in the mornings. It's an algorithm-based program. Okay. The next step is the pick of the day. This is based on human decisions. Um, as a matter of fact, I am going to be the one picking this. I used to be, and we would switch back and forth, and Aaron and I would consult in the mornings. But to bring you up to speed, Aaron, as of December the 31st, is not part of Day Trade Spy. He has moved on to other endeavors. We thank him for his service, and we wish him all the best. But the pick of the day is determined by a number of factors. So I look at the various inputs that I receive, news items, Twitter feeds, various things, um, fundamental analysis. I look at technical analysis and to make a determination pre-market as to is the market, the propensity going to go up or down today? Where's the market likely going to go? Up or down? And then we send out the actual pick of the day that I'm interested in the morning. So you're going to get this at about 9 o'clock in the morning. And this is designed to be purchased right at the market open. So the pick of the day is anchored in time. What we're saying is that, okay, based on this particular time, at some point during the day, this is expected to go up or down or whatever, enough to provide you with a 6% minimum profit target. Simple, right? Now, if say the pick of the day is a call option and you open up your trading platform right at 9:30 and there's a lot of vacillation going on, wait a few seconds for the bid-ask spread to settle in nice and tight within 2, 3, 4 cents of each other. This way we got a good solid price. All right. And then buy it if the pressure is in that direction. In other words, if it's a call option, the pick, and you're seeing the pressure to the upside, right? You're seeing a lot of green coming in, buy it then. If at that point the stock is going against you, wait until the stock turns back up around on the 1 minute chart, then buy. You're going to get it for a little bit of a discounted price. Then the objective there is to put up for sale for a 6% profit target and just hold on to it. Now that pick of the day is also designed to be held overnight if you so choose. Now we do like to tell people that, well, for those of you who insist on a stop loss, then put in a 40% stop loss. Again, it's very rare that it hits that 40% stop loss. Sometimes the pick will deliver the following day on a rare occasion, but usually it delivers very quickly, usually within a few minutes. So you have to be fast, all right? As soon as it starts going in your direction and buy it right away, put it for sale for 6% profit target immediately. And then usually within a few minutes, you hear your sell order trigger and you just made 6%. Nice kind of an easy trade, right? That's the pick of the day. The inner circle. Now, this is actually our very first service that we started back in 2010. We're now in our 15th year. This is actually the service where people would coerce me to put in my the trade that I'm interested in because they saw I was making money. So I would, present before the market opened what I'm looking to trade. So with the inner circle, you're going to get an email, 9 o'clock, maybe 5 minutes after nine. I think it's going to push for 9 o'clock, a little bit sooner than that, is a snapshot of the way I see the market unfold for the rest of the day. Very brief. It's not going to be a long read because we don't have a lot of time then, right? You got just a little, just a few short minutes in which to take in this news, process it in your mind, and make some decisions based on this news. And that's what you want to do. You don't want any lengthy reports to read at 9 o'clock. So I take in all the news, the data feeds, all the various information, all the inputs, and then I make a decision. I think the market's going to go up because of this, or I think it's going to go down because of that. Or as often happens, I think the market's going to go down, retrace a little bit down to this level, then it's going to go higher. I'm going to give you some support resistance numbers, and I tell you what I'm interested. I'm interested in calls today. I'm interested in puts today. All right, so that's the morning market analysis. All right, with the inner circle. Later in the day, all right, could be in the afternoon, could be in the early evening, we will send out a follow-up report as to what we actually did, what my trades were, and everything else. All right, including all the stuff that we had done in the trading room. Okay, so we'll give you just and again, another very brief synopsis as to what we did, follow-up report. That is the inner circle. All right, that's the inner circle. Now, the pride and joy, of course, is our trading room, hosted by yours truly. Been doing this a long time. I think we kind of mastered both trading and training. I think it's very important not just to master the trading, but also how to effectively communicate it with your traders. Probably especially new traders. All right, I know there's a lot of new traders online, and I'll be frank with you, options trading can be very overwhelming. It can be very intimidating. And if you don't know what you're doing, okay, you could be in trouble real fast, right? So you kind of need somebody to hold your hand and guide you and protect you through this whole process. Of course, the rewards are can be very amazing. And if you do this right, you can do very, very, very well. In fact, we have a lot of people in our trading room who are exceptional traders, absolutely exceptional. Very proud of all of them. I've got the hiccups here tonight, not sure why. I'm just recovering from a bit of a food coma. Had a big dinner tonight, and after a big dinner, just got to go to sleep for half an hour, right? Anyway, so if I'm a little slow, that's why. I just kind of. But anyway, uh, what do we have tonight? We had Wiener Schnitzel and Spätzle with the sauce. It was actually very good. All right, the trading room is where strategies come alive. We have various strategies. One is which is called the OMG, out of the morning gate. Essentially, we're saying it's a breakout off the 5-minute chart. Check the support and resistance levels right at 9:30. Where are they? First 5-minute candle to close outside of either of those support and resistance lines. That is the direction we're looking for a 6% gain. Statistically, the system works extremely well. I also have my bread and butter strategy, and also I prefer my favorite strategy, which is scalping. I love to scalp. Scalping, I buy pretty heavy. The idea is to buy heavy and just go for a few cents. Watch those certain indicators that I look at, and when the indicators line up, that's it. Make your purchase, put it up for sale for usually somewhere between a 6 and 10, 15 cent gain. Then take your profits. Wait for the next setup. Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, right? And that, to me, is how I like to accumulate my wealth. By doing that, I'm also creating a cushion so that if I do take a loss later in the day, let's say I've got three trades where I made, say, 20 cents, right? 20 cents. Well, now I have this cushion. And if I take a fourth trade and something happens, it turns against me, well, I still have that 20-cent cushion that I had developed earlier in the day. So it's actually kind of very comforting to have that. But this is where our strategies come alive. We do this every morning, 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern Time. Learn and earn from the best. These are interactive sessions. It's exciting trading. So I say the best because I've been doing it for so long and learned a few things. I'd like to pass off this knowledge to you. How many people here would agree to me that knowledge is power? Tell me if you agree that knowledge is power. Tell me if you agree with that, because I'm just curious to see if you think that knowledge is power, and by having knowledge puts you in a powerful position. Okay, lots of yeses, lots of yeses. Well, you know what? It's interesting. I knew you would say that, but I tend to disagree, and I'll tell you why. It is power only if you implement it. Only if you implement it. Okay. You would not believe how many people know the material, but they don't implement it. They still continue doing what they've always done, second guessing. They don't have the faith and confidence in themselves or in the market or whatever it is. And sometimes you need patience, sometimes you need discipline, sometimes you just have to sit on your hands. So here's what key difference between, say, investing, where you would put money into a mutual fund or whatever, and long term and passive, right? It's passive. And day trading. Day trading is very active, very active. And whereas, say, you are putting money in a mutual fund and looking for your retirement, and let's say you're working for a living, you're putting in, I don't know, a couple $100 or 1,000, whatever, every month into your to your financial advisor to invest for mutual funds and long term and all that. That's a passive kind of thing. And it rides the markets, ebbs and flows. Markets go up, they go down, and sometimes the markets go down a little bit. So you just sit there and wait, but you take advantage of the move back up. The S&P as a rule has been going up very nicely since about 2008 after the big meltdown. Not sure how high it's going to go or whatever. Are we ever due for another recession? I don't know, but it's long term, right? And you just kind of park your cash there. With trading, you want to park your cash in cash. Cash is a position. Personally, I like to be in cash at the end of the day. It doesn't always turn out that way, but most of my cash is definitely in cash. Does that make sense? Most of my money, most of my funds is in cash. I do not trade all of my funds in my trading room, in my trading account. I just trade a certain amount, but I like to be in cash at the end of the day. So I like to take advantage of these short-term intraday trades, positions, these opportunities that present themselves. And that's where I make money. So I'm kind of building my account little by little by little. And that's what I do. Anyway, our sessions are interactive. That means you can put in your questions, attempt to answer them if we can, and it's exciting. It's a lot of fun too. Again, we teach what we trade, trade what we teach. Watch us make real trades, real money. Also do a lot of sim trades as well. Again, if you have any questions, we answer them. We've got the longest running live trading room that I know of. Been doing this since 2010. The trading room. All right, now I've got prices on all these. I don't quite know what the current prices are. That's for our Eagle Financial Publications administrative staff to determine. But I can tell you that as I understand it, the trading room has a very special price of $6.99 for 3 months. My question to you is, can you afford not to subscribe to this? You get a live mentor, right? 5 times a week, guiding you, protecting you from yourself, right? Look at for any of those services, Inner Circle, Day Trade Spy Signal, Pick of the Day. You need to really to get the best price. You don't have to. You can go right to the website and sign up there. But for the very best price, that's why I tell you this on Sunday nights, right? Those of you on Sunday nights are getting a pretty good deal. All you have to do is email customer service at daytradespy.com and ask them, say, I'm interested in the services that you have. What are your best rates right now? I'm ready to sign up. And do you have a bundle rate? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I know certain times of the year they have a special bundle rate. I don't know if they do now or not. I don't know. But tell them you're interested in the inner circle. I'm interested in the day trade spy signal, or I'm interested in the pick of the day. I'm interested in the trading room. What's the best you can do? And they're going to give you a price that is probably better than the website. Okay. So I tell you that it's kind of a little, insider thing. Okay. All right. Customer service, all one word at Day Trade Spy. Let's move on. Um, this here is the 2 minute tutorial. And you know what? How did we miss this? We have to put this in as the 2 minute tutorial. All right, let's get right in here. This is our 2 minute tutorial. 2 minute tutorial. Okay. All right. You're watching me. All right, you are you are watching me right here. Okay, what can we do this here? Very special, very exciting. Let's make this a really this bright red. Okay, make it thick. You're watching me develop my PowerPoint right here as I speak, right? Okay, let's bring this baby into the middle. This is our 2 minute tutorial. Actually, I'm going to make this bigger. This is how I do it. Now you know, folks. Now you know what goes into these things. All right. 2 minute tutorial. All right. Um, there you go. Does that make sense? I guess it looks okay, right? So I had this question posed to me from Danielle. Danielle, where is she? She's from Montreal, I believe, or outskirts of Montreal. She says, someone told me you can make boatloads of money day trading SPY options, even 50% if you really pay attention. I say malarkey, prove it. Well, Danielle, let me see if you are on right now. Let me just kind of go through the list of all the participants. Yeah, there's so many participants, I really can't go through all these participants, including some phone numbers. Okay, Danielle, and I know you're going to watch the recording because you told me that you would. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Look at it. I say absolutely yes, it is possible. And I'm going to show you a demonstration. Just a very brief demonstration, all right? And I had my video on that. I'm not sure why the video's not working. I'm going to show you two charts here, folks. Now, really, I want you to pay attention the next few minutes. If you slept through the first 40 minutes of this presentation, I really want you to kind of wake up and pay attention to this. Okay. All right. This chart on the left is a 1 minute chart on SPY. Those little purple ovals are where you're going to buy. The white ovals, that's where you're going to sell. I am only going to buy for the purpose of this demonstration, the at the money next Friday's expiration call options. All right? At the money next Friday's expiration call options. So I am taking this screen here is from January the 3rd. This is Friday, right? Friday, January the 3rd. Now, I did not put up my indicators that I use to determine where those buy and sell signals are. That is reserved for the trading room subscribers. When you are in the trading room, that's where you're going to get that information. This chart on the right is a chart of the option itself, and I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can make 50% or more a day, day trading SPY options. Now, what I did here was this. At those purple circles, I took the average buy price and the average sell price. So when we hit the white circles, the white ovals, we took the average sell price. You could have gotten in for a little better price, maybe a little worse price, but that is the average buy-in price and the average sell price. As you can see right here, the first option, which is the 588 call options for next Friday, January the 10th, It actually had a greater profit potential, right, than what we actually sold it for. But we took this baby from an average of 521 to 533 for 2.3%. And we'd have been in this trade for about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay. 3 minutes. 2.3%. Next up, we'd have gotten back in here. Back in here, what would that be? About 937 or something? 937. Same thing. We're running this up. Again, based on the indicators, and I did not put the indicators up on the charts because, again, all right, that is saved for the trading room people. But had you gotten in right then when we had identified that, you'd have taken this baby from 474 to 553, sorry, 535, possibly even more for 12.9%. Next up was the 589 calls because the market had gone up. You're taking this from, where is this, 1005? Again, based on our indicators, that's where you'd have gotten in, and that's where you'd gotten out right there. A few minutes later, it actually went higher than what we're selling it for. But if you'd have followed our indicators, you'd have sold it right there. This would have been, what, a 4-minute trade from 495 to 511 for another 3.2%. Look, I know that each trade is not 30% or 40 or 50 or 80% like some traders like to think of themselves. We're not looking for those home runs. We're not looking for those, for hitting to the fences with this. What we're trying to do is get a little bit of a profit several times, multiple times a day. Not to mention the fact that trading like this is actually very exciting. I really enjoy it. That's our trade number. What is that, number four? Next up, we go into what is this now? 1032 or something. All right, we get it for 455 out of 491. Again, it went higher, but we got the exit at that point there. That's where we'd have been taken out. Notice I'm not going for the low to the high. It's a fallacy if you ever think you're going to get the low and the high. And this is what really drives me out of my mind when I hear some gurus out there talking like that. Well, if you bought at the low and sold for the high, well, guess what, pal? You don't know the low and the high until at the end of the day, do you? You don't know until after the fact when it hit the low and when it hit the high. So please don't say low and high. You have to have very key indicators that you're going to get into and get out of. Very key, criteria. Okay. But anyway, you could have made more. Absolutely could have. You could have taken it from 455 to 491 for another 7.9%. One more trade here. Let's see, get into this next one here. We're into this thing at what, 1042 or whatever that is. For 471 to 510, again, I'm just taking the average prices. Now, that is a very direct price. There's the average price up there. What's that, about 4 minutes later? For another 8.3% on your option. You see, options have this massive leverage. The stock does not have to move very much for the option to make a lot of money. And by getting these little percentages, these small gains, you can actually ramp this up. Don't forget too, I bought time. I bought a week out at the money call options. I hadn't even considered puts yet. How about another one? Do you have room for another one here? Yes, we do. This one ran up right here from 489 to 505 for another 3.3%. And let's do one more. Here we go. From 413 to 511. Excuse me. Almost a buck on this one for 23.7%. Again, using the indicators that I show you in the trading room. Now, you didn't have to, if you didn't keep track of all this, no worries, folks, because I did. Here it is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. Here's the percentages. 61.6%. I want to see if I can highlight this here. All right. Is this right? Can I highlight it? No, that's not a highlighter. Uh, Trash that. Clear drawings. Okay. Maybe color, spotlight. Maybe a spotlight. Does that work? It's just a spotlight. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do this here. I think if I color, I'm sure I'll figure it out one day here. Maybe okay, stamp, no, draw. Okay, here we go. I think this is it here. Line width. And maybe shape. Eclipse. Will this work? No, I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, you get the drift here. You get the drift. Clear all noise. 61.6%. Guess what, folks? We're done before lunch. Done before lunch based on average prices. Again, could have got it for better. These are with 1 week expirations, and these were only calls. 61.6. So if I continue this for the rest of the day, I'm pretty sure I could hit it. Yeah, oh my gosh, I could even probably hit 100%. Now, if I took same day expirations, which have a greater potential, well, I'm pretty confident by lunch I could have made 100% using the strategy. Especially if I'd even also if I'd also considered puts, which I did not do. I only considered the calls, right? I only considered the calls. You could have made money going to the downside here too. All right, you could have made money going to the downside. There must be some way I can do this draw. If I draw smart pen, highlighter. Okay, shaded eclipse, filled eclipse. Okay, let's do this. Maybe this will work. Take a look at this. I didn't even consider. Oh, I didn't want an eclipse. No, not the eclipse. I wanted a pen. Spotlight, not a spotlight. I got to learn this. Draw. Pen. Width. Okay, filled. Okay, maybe this will work. Okay, I have to get rid of that drawing here. Okay, I'm going to clear that drawing. Okay, do I have a pen? Draw pen. What is this here? Vanishing pen, highlighter, smart pen. What is smart pen? I'm going to do this one. Thick, filled eclipse, yellow. Okay, maybe this will work. I didn't even. You know what? I'm gonna forget it. This now is driving me crazy here. Okay, I didn't even consider the downside. Same day options. I'm pretty sure by lunch I could have made 100%. I think I beat this to death, but I think I convinced you, Danielle, and anybody else that yes, you can definitely make a lot of money day trading options on SPY. All right. All right, let's move on. I beat this one to death. I'm just boring out. Now if I can just get the rest of this. Let's see, how can we do this? I got to get rid of this. And then do I go next? There we go. Oh, I lost you. All right. Okay. All right, folks. Let's take a look at some questions now. Let's take a look at some questions. Okay. I'm just reading some of these questions while we have these guys up on the board here. I don't want to keep you too much past 9 o'clock. I know that you're probably busy or whatever. And okay. You should consider a lady psychic. I'm going to take that information, John, and pass it down to the powers that be. Okay, so I think that'd be kind of fun. That'd be kind of fun. Let's go down. Let's do this here. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea. Lady Psych. There you go. That'd be fun. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Washington State. Geraldo, am I able to share my success rate since you've been trading options? Wow. I can tell you that I made a lot of money. Okay, I'm going to be very brief. I made a lot of money and I lost a lot of money. So the key I think the key trade that comes to mind is one that I'd done back in the winter of 2005. I really wasn't very familiar with options quite yet, but a friend of mine, Dave, I haven't talked to Dave in a while. He was very, very familiar with Exxon. But before that, good friend of mine, Sonny Decker from Best Choice Software, they're no longer around. In fact, Sonny had passed away several years ago. God rest his soul. It's funny, we're good friends. Sonny and I were good friends right up to the end. As a matter of fact, he was in the hospital the day before he passed away, and he called me up to say goodbye. But he's asking me, he said, Hugh, I'm sitting in call options. What do you think I should do? I said, Sonny, sell them. You have bigger fish to fry. But anyway, he told me about a stock that goes up every February the 6th for 2 weeks, Hershey. And I put, I think, $5,000 or $6,000 in a Hershey. I doubled my money in a week. And when I called him up all excited, he yelled at me, "You're supposed to stay in that for 2 weeks." I said, well, that's okay because a buddy of mine, Dave, put me on another stock called Exxon. And I forgot what the numbers were now, but there's an earnings trade on Exxon that was coming up. And he's telling me that you should buy some really cheap options. So I loaded up the truck with the earnings that I had from my Hershey trade. They had about 12, $14,000 on this Hershey trade. So I put all that money into very cheap options on Exxon, 20 cents, 24 cents. I bought a lot of those. And I sat back for the next 3 weeks as Exxon went up and up and up and up and up. And I walked away after those 3, 4 weeks with $250,000 profit. I couldn't believe it. I bought an airplane. I did some home renovations. And I gave a friend of mine 20,000 to spend just for fun. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. I thought, well, I'm never going to replicate that again. I don't think. Maybe I could, maybe I won't. But anyway, point is, I kind of learned a few things about options, and I started getting a little crazy. I started buying all kinds of different things, and um, then I proceeded to, lose a lot of money too, right? So I lost a lot of money, made a lot of money. So do I have a track record, Geraldo, of I can tell you that these days, all right, last several years, I guess, I'm probably doing 90, 95% successful. Okay. That's gonna be my best guesstimate as to my success rate on options. Probably even more, maybe even 98%. I don't take losses very lightly anymore. Okay. I don't take losses lightly. So I will enter a trade when usually, now I did have a loss the other day. I will tell you, I did take a loss the other day, but for the most part, I really want to pay attention to my trades and do better trades, fewer trades, but better trades. And sometimes I'll repair a trade. So that's the best I can tell you there. So, okay. Question here, some options. Okay, this is one of the stocks. Alexi's talking about an option. He has holding the 498 calls on Friday. This is the option I lost on. Actually, I took a bath on this one. I lost a couple $1,000 on this one. This is the one trade I'm going to lose now for a while. Hopefully, this is the last trade I lose in a long time. So the question is, last Friday, the stock went from 586 to 582.60. He's kind of got that backwards. But the 598 calls did not move. They opened at a penny, they closed at a penny. So when an option is sitting at around a penny, or in my thinking here, anything less than a nickel, it's essentially on life support. Okay, it's on life support. Um, when an option is a penny, it's going to expire that day. That means that it's so far out of the money. It's got about as much of a chance of an ice cube in hell. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen because your theta your delta is so low. If you go back and check the delta on that, you'll probably see that your delta is very, very low, maybe at 2%, which means that if the stock moves a buck, your option might move 2%. You also have volatility issues in there, and of course, theta is eating away at your option like a fast-moving cancer. But when an option is down to a penny or 2 cents or even 3 or 4 cents, it's not moving. You need time on your side. If you're gonna have an option like that, you still need lots of time on your side. You need the movement in the option, and it is for that reason it did not move. I lost a good, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000 on that trade. I was pretty mad at that, but anyway, whatever it is. So, all right. Thanks for that comment on that, Charles. Okay. Matthew, Aaron is, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's found other endeavors to pursue. So we wish him all of the best on that. Da, da, da. Okay, okay. For somebody who wants to join but not sure at what level, what do you recommend would be the most effective service to buy? Been learning about options but have not made an initial trade. Geraldo, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. We actually have people in our trading room who've been with us for years and yet still to place a trade and they love the camaraderie, they love the information, they love the company, whatever. Um, uh, if you know what a call and put is, really you belong in the trading room. That's where you're going to get real time, real training, real hands-on guidance. All right. That's really where it all happens. So I would recommend the trading room. That's a way to fast track your training. And it's also a confidence boost. So you'll be in a bad trade. Let's say you're in a bad trade and you text me, so my gosh, I'm in a bad trade. What should I do? Well, I'll give you my opinion on that. I'll say, okay, and I'm not going to mince words. You might not like what you hear, but I'm going to give you very frank, honest answers. If I think that, you know what, your option is going to expire tomorrow, it's the way it's looking, it might expire worthless. If you got a dime or 15 cents, I would take it. It's better than nothing. You're going to lose that too. I just don't see how it's going to go. Is it impossible? No, nothing is impossible. But you don't want to be in a bad trade. I mean, I think the trading room is the best. Now, if you're not really sure you want to make that commitment, I mean, you can, I believe the trading room, you can sign up and you've got like a 30-day window with which to cancel and get your money back. All right. Again, check with customer service at DayTradeSPY for verification on that. All right. But I believe that's the case. So try it. If you really don't like it, you don't have to stay, right? You get your money back. If you're a little nervous about getting there, or for whatever reason you cannot get into the trading room every morning, 9:20 to 10:30, join the inner circle. Doesn't cost you much at all. I don't know, not much at all. Like really not much. Um, I don't even think it's a cup of coffee a day, to be honest with you. So you're getting some pretty good information off that. Also, Wednesday nights in the inner circle, right? Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, we have our inner circle weekly meetup where you can discuss anything that you want, right? Related to SPY options. So, all right, next question here. Does Aaron still contribute to the morning market analysis? No, that is being done without Aaron from here on out. Earnings season is soon. What will that time bring? Will that time bring any difference to your strategies? More caution, decreased risk. We're going to take a look at that, Rich, when earnings season rolls around and how the markets react to that. Expect probably elevated volatility in those times here. Alexi, thank you for that. Alexi did a hike in Peru for 2 weeks in November. Very nice and safe country. I've been hearing that. Um, and my daughter went to this place. What was it called? What was that popular? Machu Picchu or something? Pardon my ignorance on that one. It was quite the adventure. She sent me videos and stuff, and wow, like wow. Um, I wish I was young. Okay. FOMO was a no, no, no. I'm just reading a few. I'm going to be honest with you folks. If you write me an essay, it's going to take longer to read, may not get read. But let me just take a look real quick at Douglas's here concerning the pick of the day. Uh, okay, so here's an interesting question. The pick of the day. I set up my buy at the ask for the identified option, but it's rarely filled. How can I successfully buy based on the pick? Should I wait a minute for the ask price to adjust to the current market? Okay? So I'm going to give you a really good tip on this. This is how the smart traders make money on the pick of the day. So let's say you get the pick, and I smell something burning. I think my wife might be cooking something. If the fire alarm goes off, just ignore it. Uh, that's how we know when dinner is done. The fire alarm goes off. Uh, be funny if it wasn't so true. So let's say you get the pick, and the bid ask is, let's say, $3 by 303, right? $3 bid, 303 ask, and you want it. It's going your direction. Don't put it in for the ask price of 303. If it's going up, it's going to go pretty fast. Put in a buy price of 305 or 306 or 307. Go 2 or 3 cents higher than the ask. That's going to put you at the front of the line, and you're going to get it. The market's going up. It'll probably go through that 306, 307 very quickly, and you'll probably get out of it at 315, 320, 330, or wherever it goes. Okay? So when you want to buy it and it's moving quickly in your direction, buy it for a couple cents more. I know it's counterintuitive to what you think, and you should be getting it for less, but when it's going your direction, there are no discounts. There are no discounts, right? Think of it like airline seats, right? You're flying on Thanksgiving weekend. It's the busiest weekend of the year, and when airline seats are very expensive. I got news for you. There's no discounts on those expensive days, right? There's no discounts. Why should they discount? Discount for what? This is one of those handful of times a year where they get to call the shots, and they do. They're going to fill the seat for $1,000, whether you pay it or somebody else doesn't matter, right? To them, why would they discount it? And that's the same when you get the stock. The stock is very favored. It's moving up. It's pushing up. There's no discounts. You want it? Buy it. Buy it for a little more than the ask price. You'll get it. Ride it up, sell it, take your profits. Way to go, right? So, all right. If I missed the weekend review, can I watch it? Yes. The weekend review is recorded. It should be on the website in a couple of days, if not the next day. So, all right, a little over 9 o'clock. Gonna go a few more minutes here. I want to kind of see these questions here. Okay. 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 Thanks for that, San Diego. Gonna clean out this 598 expired worthless. You know what? Clean slate. Go for whatever you have. You have. 2025 is going to be a dynamite year. So, question: what does hawkish mean? Hawkish. So, okay, so we've got these Fed members, right? These are the presidents of the various regional banks, and they all chime in with their speeches and their opinions on where the markets are. So, hawkish means they favor keeping rates the same or raising rates. They don't favor cutting rates. Converse to hawkish is dovish. So when a Fed member is dovish, they favor reducing interest rates. They want to cut rates. Dovish is cutting rates. Hawkish is raising rates. Okay, that's what that means. Thanks for that, John. The market is closed Thursday. Thank you for that information. That is true. This year it is closed Thursday, January the 9th for President Carter's funeral. And you know what? I should have actually had that on the. You know what? I'm going to go back to that. I am going to go back to that because that's actually a very good point. I don't know how I missed that actually, but I'm going to go back to that. Bear with me while I find it. Market on Thursday is actually closed. Market closed. Market is closed for the funeral. Closed. Okay. Let's get that there. Just this for the recording. Market is closed. President Carter's President Carter's funeral. President Carter's funeral. President Carter funeral. Okay, there we go. Got to get this in for the recording. Here we go, right? There we go. All right. Thank you very much for that information, whoever sent that down. Actually, I think a couple of people sent it. All right, let's move forward here. Trading room. Fast forward. Fast forward. Okay. Get through these slides. Isn't that fun doing these PowerPoints? There we go. Okay. All right. No trading on Thursday, folks. Trading is a holiday. Okay. Okay. Da, 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 da. Thank you for that information. Vitamin D. Yes, vitamin D for the sun. Okay. Here's a good question. Do you call out the day trade spy signal at the pick of the day? In the trading room, the answer is no. Those are separate subscriptions. That said, all right, time permitting, we do discuss them after the fact as to how they did. But if you are subscribed to the trading room, you do not get the day trade spy signal or the pick of the day. Those are separate subscriptions. So, okay, let's move along down the line here, see if there are any more questions. Yes, Thomas Jefferson said that. I don't know what you're referring to there, Ed, but it could be anything. Um, I'm going to be frank with you guys. A lot of the stuff I tell you, I didn't come out with a lot of the stuff. Some stuff I came out with, but A lot of stuff I've gotten from the years of just, being in this business here. There you go, fraud. The definition of insanity, beating your noggin a million times, expecting different results. Isn't that the truth, right? All right. Looking at the chart, Kathy, where's the at the money, 590 or 591 or whatever, 590? Okay, so when I say at the money options, what I'm referring to is the next strike out of the money. So let's say let's just go back a second real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna again. So let's say down in here, as an example, this one here, this particular screen, where is this one? This is the last one here. We're at 589. 589. It's just actually under 589. So the next strike is going to be 590. That's what I'm considering to be at the money, the 590 calls. And up here at the top on the symbol, there's the 590 calls. And there's the expiration date, 25th year, the first month, January, the 10th date, which is the following Friday. The following Friday. So when I look at the money, I'm actually thinking of the next strike up. That is the out of the money options. Okay. All right. Let's get back some more questions. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right, Jeff. I'm going to show you those indicators tomorrow in the trading room. Okay, that I'm talking about. Can you please remind me in case I forget? All right. All right. So just remind me, but I will tell you what I'm looking at here. We have them up on the board every day. All right, and some astute traders follow those, and they're the ones who are doing all right. Da, 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 da. Okay, Ritesh, I joined at 8:45. Missed the context of what you were showing. These trades you recommend in your trading room. How does this work if I want to do the same? I assume you do this daily. What's the win rate? Our win rate is very high. Ritesh, join us in the trading room. I'm not going to go through the analogy again. You can watch the recording and you can get the thing that we don't necessarily call it. We call out our trades. I call out the trades I'm looking to trade. Here's one of the big problems I'm finding in the trading room. By the way, I hope you guys are okay by going a little overtime, right? I apologize in advance, but I think I'm getting some pretty good information to you. So here's one of the issues that I have in the trading room. That is the fact that I narrate the trading room, narrate the learning of it all and try and keep an eye on the markets and try and actually get some trades in as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on in my head when I'm doing the trading room. So, and I do miss many opportunities, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. As long as you're learning something and some people are getting some great information. That's what it's all about here. Okay, why are you not in favor of loss limits, limiting losses, stop losses? Question that comes up a lot using stop losses. There's two schools of thought on stop losses, okay? Theoretically, it makes sense, right? The market goes down, you get taken out on a stop. And it works a lot of times, but I found myself when I used to use them that I was netting out, on the losing side an awful lot more than I was actually gaining. Um, and maybe my stops were in the wrong spot. I don't know, but I found that options and the stock, and of course the options as well, move a lot. And it's nothing to see your option value go down 10, 20, 30% before it reverses and goes back up. And if I had a stop loss anywhere in between there, then I would have been taken out for my stop. There's also, and in the trading room, if you remind me, I'll show you what the market makers will often do because they can see your stops. Anybody can see your stops. It's public knowledge. They can see your stops. And market makers are charged with creating liquidity in the market. So they will execute trades that are going to be way down underneath that are going to take out your stops. So if the market's up here, floating around up here, and then all of a sudden they execute a trade way down here, takes out your stop, and then a couple minutes later goes back up and continues on. Can you see this in the camera? I don't know if it's working out. Anyway, so I found that looking at the longer term picture, buying time, being patient, weather those brief moments of down times, you'll actually do much better. At least I do by not using stops. Not to say I don't manage my positions in other ways, I do, but for me, options on SPY, stops on options on SPY is just not the way to go. It doesn't work for me. So, all right, another question. Are you getting another co-host? I'm pretty sure eventually I probably will. I don't know who or when, but I understand I probably will at some point. What did you mean by saying you had till Friday? Okay, so the options. Okay, so those example I was showing you a few minutes ago by making 60 point something percent by noon for Danielle, who thought it was crazy to try to make 50% in a day. And I said, yeah, you can actually do very well. You can actually make 100% if you're really paying attention. By my expiration, I had the following Fridays. Even though I am looking to get out of the trade in a few minutes, I still like to buy time because if something horrible happens and the market turns against me, and it does, all right, they are very quick to take premium out of those same day or next day expiration options. And then when the stock goes back up, they're not very fast to put the premium back in. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to alleviate the theta loss as much as possible. Theta loss is time loss. By buying time, right? All right, you're reducing your time loss significantly. And don't worry the fact that the options cost more money. You get it all back when you sell anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, all right, that is the reason for that. What date is your chart from? That was from last Friday, January the 3rd. Even though Friday was expiration, isn't the trade over once sold? Yes, the trade is over once it's sold. My intention is to get in and out the same day, actually, hopefully in a few minutes. But again, just to reduce that potential theta loss should the trade turn horribly against me. So if you'll notice, if you want to go back to that, I don't want to go back in, but if you want to go back, you'll see that those options sometimes did come back down or they went up. Actually, I think in our example, they went up. But stocks don't go in straight lines. They go up, they go down, they go up, they go down, right? And it's very easy to get caught in a downdraft if you're not paying attention, right? All right, Dennis, in your trading room, do you give specific buy and sell recommendations? What I do there is I say, all right, here's the setup. This is what the setup is. I'm looking to buy the 596 calls. Here's when I'm going to get in. I draw it all out. I punch up the yellow brick road. Tell you exactly when I'm looking to get in, when I'm looking to get out. So the answer there is absolutely yes. All right, Placide. I hope I pronounced that. Is Aaron still with the company? No, he's not with the company. Machu Picchu. Thanks for that, Geraldo. Machu Picchu. Yes, that is the place in Peru that if you're ever in Peru, you must. I think that's the law, isn't it? Yeah, you have to go to Machu Picchu. So, Catherine, an answer to your question, I would say, yeah, go ahead. All right, your question, I would say, go ahead. All right, pick of the day. Use a market order. Once it moves your way, you'll miss the best price most of the time. Thank you for that, Mark. Okay, so I suggested a limit order with a couple, 2, 3 cents over the ask price. I got a comment here from John McGee. Use a market order. Okay, so I got a little funny thing with market orders. Sometimes you will get filled for a price way out of the the league, but I know you are a very successful trader, John. He suggests use a market order. Once it moves away from you, that will get you your trade. You might end up paying a little more for it than what you expected, but at least you're going to get it and you're going to go in there. So, okay, the 5 to 10K challenge is long done, but we're going to probably look at another one soon or something along those lines here. All right, got to get Daphne. Okay, right, it's okay. So, all right, all right, we're gonna get. I think we're done here. It's 10. Oh my gosh, 10:16. Are you serious? What happened to the time? My gosh, time is just fleeting by, folks. We're gonna call it a morning. A morning. We're gonna call it an evening. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a real pleasure, and the recording will be uploaded, I think, in a day or two. Listen, I hope to see you online. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
And there ain't no stopping now. You're the one. Shine brighter than the moon and the sun. Be greater. what you do. Give it all of you. And trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you